So I finally saw Man of Steel. You guys have been asking me to go see it. I went to go see it. Only problem is I never found the Stan Lee cameo. I'm a real nerd. Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd with a review for you, Black Reviews. And I am reviewing Man of Steel, the latest Superman movie. Now this movie has been getting a lot of controversy. A lot of people are very upset, didn't think this was gonna be the Superman movie that they wanted. And I'm here to tell you my honest opinion. I love this movie. It was really good. Just from the beginning, when you get to see Krypton, you get to learn more about the planet, which I really like. You get to see all these different creatures, different technology. Russell Crowe was great as Jor-El. Then Zod comes in and is all like, my people. I guess that's the thing that you have to do now when you're a villain in a DC Comics movie, is you had to keep talking about the people. Bane was all about the people, and then Zod was like, my people! Peoples is peoples. Muppets Take Manhattan. And then we get to see this wonderful story arc about Superman growing up through different flashbacks. We see him as a kid, we see him as an adult who has to drift around because anytime he does something super, he has to like disappear because he doesn't want anyone to know about his identity, about his powers. And a lot of that comes from the teachings of his father, played by Kevin Costner, who warns him that people are weird, and when they see something that's completely different, especially from another world, they're not gonna react the way you think they're gonna react. They could turn on you or try to cut you up for science or just hate you, and they want to make sure that his son stays safe, even to the point when certain things happen to certain people in the movie. Superman, he has to like watch it happen, and he can't really do anything because he has to keep himself a secret. And it's sad to watch because you know in due time we're all gonna find out about him. This guy who has these powers, who can stand up for himself, who can fight for himself and defend himself, but has to keep holding that in. And I thought this movie beautifully crafted that message. You got wonderful performances. Henry Cavill, Caviar. He did a wonderful job as Superman. I thought he was a really nice, bold Superman, but at the same time, you could feel the human side of him from being on our planet. I'm saying on our planet like it's real, because it's real. Superman is real. I was a little concerned about Amy Adams as Lois Lane, but I thought she did a great job. There were a couple times where I was like, well, isn't she a reporter? Why is she walking on the edge of ice and hanging out with military people? But I got over it. She did a great job. I thought her chemistry with Henry Caviar was really good. And I love Diane Lane. Diane Lane looked great as Martha Kidder. I thought she was wonderful. Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White. We had a Black White. A lot of people were concerned about Zack Snyder's movie styles because of stuff that we've seen him do in the past, but there was no slow motion. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't weird. It wasn't a bunch of just action for the sake of action. It was a beautifully crafted movie that told the origin of Superman story in a beautiful way. It's a story that we've seen before, but it was done in a nice, new, original way, and it put a lot of heart into it. And when you're watching it, it's just like, it's lovely. I loved it. This is literally one of the best superhero movies I have seen in a very long time. And then the second part happened. When Zod comes to Earth, it's like they tag teamed out the director and put in a new director who just went, explosion, blow everything up. What happened to this movie? It was insane. It was going at such a great pace. I was entranced. I was loving this. I was like, man, could be actually better than even some of the Batman Dark Knight movies. And then they just go into straight up fireworks show CGI. I felt like I was playing Injustice. Things flying around, snake creatures coming out of machines, gravity machines pulling up and down buildings upon buildings being destroyed. I'm sorry, you can do all you want to with your camera tricks of showing a building broke and then like cut into the street to see a couple people peeking out of their cars and me think that no one's dead. Those people died. Thousands of people died. There is no way. Metropolis, when they get to the end of it, is like decimated. There is no way that anyone survived. And it's so weird because it's like a Superman movie, because his whole thing is that he doesn't want to hurt humans. And they even have a scene where Zod's all like, I'm gonna kill some humans. And Superman's like, no, you can't kill no humans. You can't do that on Superman's watch. But it's like, dude, you just threw him through like 10 buildings, which I'm sure some people were in, that just came crumbling down to the ground or landed on other buildings or just landed on the street. Someone died. Superman, if you trying to save humans, a man, a woman, a child, a dog, a cat, a bird, construction worker, nurse, doctor, school teacher, a bunch of people died in your little fight to save humanity. Good job. This is what I think happened. I think that they went to Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan was producing, and was like, look, we're gonna make the Superman movie like we did with the Batman movies. It's gonna have a lot of heart to it. We're gonna pace ourselves. It's gonna be great. And then some WB executive watched the Avengers and went, okay, do that times 100. It was so polarizing. It was like you had Batman Begins at the first half of the movie, and then you had the Avengers at the second half of the movie, and then you also stole a couple of lens flares from J.J. Abrams' Star Trek set and then stuck them in the movie as well. This movie took so many elements from other movies and in the process lost its own identity. There's no identity with this film because it's so borrowing from so many other different things. And can we please stop with this shot where you have like a wide shot of something and then it quickly zooms in to see what the action is? I have seen that done so many times in movies, and it's done like 15 times in this movie alone. Stop doing that. It's a little sneaky film student camera trick that I'm done with. It was doing such a good job, so it just like pained me at the end to watch this like 20-minute, 40-minute, that thing was long. I went to go see this movie, and when I came out of the movie, it was another day. And I went to the movie at like 7 o'clock. This is the perfect example of movie by committee. You could just see all the different elements of, oh, this producer wanted this thing, this executive wanted this thing, this director wanted this thing, and you get too many cooks in the kitchen. It's not the worst movie. There are parts of it that I think are absolutely great, but there's just so much disjointedness in it, if that's even a word. It's like two different movies. It really is like two different movies, and I love the first one, but I hated the sequel. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think of Man of Steel? Did you like it? Did you hate it? And what DC character do you think should have a movie next? Wonder Woman? The Flash? Batmite? Leave a comment or a video response. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Addy 5000. Chain chomp.